Basketball World Cup 2023 qualification game between India and the Philippines. This is the first qualification for window for Group A here in the Asia region. 4 games across 5 days. Everything tipped off yesterday when India went down 101-46 against a very impressive New Zealand team. Great to see some fans here in the smart Araneta Coliseum in Manila. It's providing the court for all of our games here in Group A in this window. An amazing arena, and actually this will be one of the venues that will be hosting some of the World Cup group stage games.
Number 0, 30 Ravenna.
The Philippines will be introduced to the crowd. They're being introduced first because technically they are the away team right now. Clearly they enter the game as favourites as well. They qualified for the last 2 World Cups in China and Spain. Yes, their performance in China in 2019 might not have been to the level they would have liked. They lost all 5 of their group games in China. That said, they are clearly one of the top teams in Asia, and they are currently ranked 6th in the region. Also interesting for them because technically they've already qualified for the World Cup as they are hosting the World Cup. The pressure's not on them, but they know the key to the success in that tournament on their home turf is going to be building momentum from their local fan base and getting a roster gelled together, ready to go to work.
Number 1, Sahaj Shekon.
So India, well, they had a tough start to their qualification campaign yesterday, 55-point loss to what is a very strong Kiwi roster. Even that, though, India must be considered outsiders to qualify for the World Cup. They are a country where the sport is in the ascendancy, though, so the future is looking bright for Indian basketball. 7 of their players in today's roster are 21 or younger. A great learning experience for them and really sets the country up for some success in the future. A few of these players, however, if they can put in a big performance today, you never know. They could come away with a shock result here today. We'll now take a break in commentary as we will respect both the national anthems of the Philippines and India.
Please stand for the national anthems of our competing nations in this match. First, the national anthem of the Philippines. Please remain standing for the national anthem of India.
And the national anthems do really show you the pride that all these players have in representing their countries on the biggest stage. Here are our officials for today's game. We've got Mohammed Hassan Al Salam, Shui Dong Wijai from Thailand and Buddy Marfan from Indonesia. Strong officiating crew for what should be a good game. As I said, we might have the Philippines as the favourite, but you have a feeling India might be here to upset the order of things. And as I said, with the Philippines being the hosts for the World Cup next year, it really does put a different look on their qualification. They don't have the pressure of making it through the qualification process, but it is an important part of the process for them. They need to build their team towards, hopefully, their highest ever finish in a World Cup. Imagine the support they're going to get in this stadium next year. As for India, it's all part of growth for them, a sport that's growing in their country. It's about inspiring the next generation with putting in competitive performance after competitive performance. As I say, there are players in that roster that can certainly light it up on their night. If they're able to get a few of those guys to step up all at the same time, they could come away with what would be one of the big shock wins of this qualification campaign, of this qualification window. But it's a big ask, that is for sure. So many household names in the Philippines playing in this roster. And every player fighting for their spot as well. Remember, none of them guaranteed a place in that final 12 to represent their country on their home soil. And if you speak to any athlete, taking part in the big competitions in your own country is a highlight of the career. Here's their 5, Ravina, Eram, Bolik, Ramos and Kwame. A strong 5 taking part. Remember, this is the first game for the Philippines as well, due to the issues with Korea not traveling to this qualification window due to a COVID case within their camp. It meant that the Philippines had a day off yesterday. The head coach, Vincent Reyes, knows that all eyes will be on him. The pressure's not necessarily on results during this qualification campaign. It's more on bringing together a roster that can be competitive and can challenge some of the big names in the world. That's the key for the Philippines team. For India, though, as I said, they brought in a lot of young players into this roster. It's about getting experience and for them to grow within the Indian national team setup. There are some household names, though. Anadurai, Palpreet Singh, some stars for the future in the likes of Prince Pal Singh as well. He really is one of the big names in Indian basketball. Product of the NBA Academy in India, also played in the Australian NBA Academy as well. He's played in the G League, played in the NBL in Australia, working as a development player for the New Zealand Breakers. Here's the starting 5, Sekon Hafiz, Briguvanshi, Amrit Pal Singh and Rawat. Plenty of energy and some experience coming off the bench for Veselin Matic, the head coach. And Coach Matic, well, what he doesn't know about basketball might not be worth knowing. So much experience at the highest levels of basketball across the globe. And he'll be having his team ready to go. His experience is definitely an asset for the development of basketball in India and the national team on the big stage. So the Tissot countdown to tip-off ticks across the 1 minute mark, and we are ready to go here in the arena. The Philippines team certainly want to set down a marker early in this qualification campaign.
Number 7, Boy Eram. Number 8, Robert Polik.
Just a reminder before we get to the tip-off, if you want to follow everything to do with not just this game, but the whole of the World Cup qualifiers, your best bet, without a shadow of a doubt, is getting across to your app store, be it on Android or iOS. Download the FIBA World Cup app. It's definitely the best companion you'll have for all of these qualifiers. Again, limited numbers in the arena, but I'm sure they'll make themselves heard throughout the game today. Relatively early evening tip-off here in Manila. And the game is underway. Opening game for Philippines, second game of the qualification window for India. An Asian powerhouse up against an Asian team that are growing year on year. Jump shot from the elbow, no good. Kwame looks to grab the rebound, but has it knocked away into the hands of Hafiz. He's being guarded closely. Good defense by Ravina, steals it away. 3-on-1 break. Oh, wow, he kicks it to the corner. Not sure that was the smartest move there by Borlik. Drives to the basket, hands it off to Kwame. He's going to fade away, but maybe fades a little far. Rebound pulled down by Amritpal Singh. One of 3 bigs in the roster for India today. Double team comes down, smart double team. Traveling violation is going to be called on Briguvanshi. Coach Matic, real hero in Indian basketball. Wherever he goes, people want to talk to him about the sport. It's wonderful to see. Ravina hands it back out now to Borlik. He drives down the lane, hands it off, and it's, oh, he's blown the dunk. Good defense in the end by Singh. Briguvanshi gets the roll, and India take the lead. That might saddle some Indian nerves. Briguvanshi, 5 times he's played in the Asia Cup. How he'd love to get India through to the World Cup. I'm sure their first target is qualification for the second round of the qualifiers, which certainly took a positive bump with the issues that Korea have faced in this qualification window. Briguvanshi, look at that. How many times is it going to bounce and roll around the ring? Gets the score in the end, though. But that's quickly cancelled out by a sweet little jumper from Dwight Ramos. Strong move in the paint. Amritpal Singh gets the score. Scored 5 points, grabbed 2 rebounds, and dished out 2 assists in yesterday's game against New Zealand. The basket's going to be good, though. Ramos, back-to-back buckets, and himself to a trip to the free throw line as well. And that's just lazy footwork by Singh. Trying to play defense with his arms instead of the footwork, and that's only going to end one way at this level, and that's sending your opponents to the free throw line. Connects with the free throw, gives Philippines their first lead of the game as Coach Reyes looks on. Briguvanshi uses the screen from Singh. Almost thrown away. Ravina, already 1 steal to his name, almost had a second. That one is thrown away. Ramos will head it up to Ravina, and he's out on his own. An easy layup off the glass. 4:30, Ravina. One of the real superstars of Philippines basketball, Ravina. Singh, nice spin move. Good use of the footwork as well. The big man is quite fluid. Briguvanshi for 3, wide open, no good. Rebound battle is eventually going to fall to the hands of India as JP Aram knocks it out of bounds. That's the turnover, and Ravina is tough to catch at the best of times, but when you give him a 2-meter head start, I'm not sure there's many players on the planet that will catch him. Rawat goes into the low post to Singh. Singh going to work again, hands it back off to Rawat, but that's going to be a shot clock violation. Matic cheering his team on. They're certainly showing signs in the early exchanges that they're not going to back down from the challenge, that there are glimmers that they can play some nice basketball. It's just putting 40 minutes of that together is the key. You speak to any coaches, and that's always the way. Any team can put some good minutes together, as we see Borlik pull up for a long 2 and get that one to drop. Philippines lead now out to 5. Foul's going to be called on Ravina. First foul of the game for the Philippines. Good screen set by Kwame. You try and find your way around that one. That is a long way round the screen. Sekon now. Drives in, floats the right hand off the glass. Nice soft touch, that's a smart move. And no nerves or intimidation shown by the Indian players at all, even though they're young. Sekon, just 20 years of age, looked supremely calm. But what a game he had yesterday. 10 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Led his team in all 4 of those categories. Sorry, all 3 of those categories, including minutes. He played 37 minutes yesterday as well. To be 20 years old again, huh? Even how to play 37 minutes in a tough competitive game and then come back out the next day and probably do the same again. Baseline drive, kicked into the corner. Ravina comes up short. Rebound's going to be fought for and won by Aram though. Ramos, sweet little handle, gets the jumper away. Short corner jumper is good for Dwight Ramos. 7 points already for him. Another steal, Kwame this time. Big man going coast to coast, loses his footing. Traveling violation is going to be called. Hopefully he's not injured. Just slipped on his way to the basket. Just lying face down on the floor at the moment. Big man in full flow. Sneakers just gave way on him. Thankfully he's back on his feet, heading back to the defensive end. Shakes it off and ready to go again. Philippines playing a light full court defense, just to slow the Indian offense up ever so slightly. 11 left on the shot clock. Smart move inside, hands it off. Oh, wonderful finish. That's a strong, strong finish from Rawat. As India slip into his own defense, it pays dividends. They're back out of the races. Muthu Krishnan goes inside, doesn't get the score. Rawat with the rebound, draws the foul. Aram going to get called for the foul. Muthu Krishnan frustrated that he didn't get the score, but it was a tough play. It's a smart play. There's the spin move inside, hands it off to Rawat, draws the contact. No call, I think that's the right call. But still concentrates through to the score. Rawat heads back to the line for free throws this time. Philippines make a change as Ravina comes out of the game. Rawat didn't get to the free throw line yesterday in the game against New Zealand. Misses the first of his 2. Only scored 2 points in that game yesterday. Only played 12 minutes as well, to be fair. 21 years of age. Uttarakhand is his team back in India. I'm sure his teammates are watching in at the moment, enjoying this game. He gets the second to drop, reducing the Philippines' lead down to just 2 points now. Drives inside, and the defense from India has to be better than that. They get away with one, though. Here's the finger roll from Bolik. He's not on target. Probably slightly surprised he had so much space to work with. Strong hesitation. Drive to the basket's no good, though. Rebounding battle eventually won by the Philippines. Falls into the hands of Bolik, and he'll bring it up over the half. Kwame now looking to back his way to the basket. Little running hook shot is short again. Bolik puts it in the hands of Rosario. Back to Bolik for 3, no good. Rebound pulled down by Sekon. A little over 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. And although India trail by 2, you'd feel they're probably happier of the 2 teams with their performance so far. Sekon now, shot clock down to 5, pulls up. Nice use of the pivot, no good on the jumper though. Might have been better to take a straight up and down jump shot rather than trying to fade towards the basket. Bolik wide open, off left. Rebound falls into the hands of the Philippines, though. No good this time. India are going to come away with it. And you're going to see Muthu Krishnan try and push it all the way. But the Philippines defense holds out, and it'll be an Indian ball on the baseline. And as we see Kwame and Borlick head out, Porgoy comes in, as does Sekon now. Nothing there. It's good defense by the Philippines again. Shot clock down to 9. Muthu Krishnan doesn't get the score. Big rebound under the glass. And Prashant Singh Rawat is absolutely feeling it today. He is fully pumped for today's game. Really turning up, putting in a big, big performance. 5 rebounds already for Rawat. Montalvo into the game for the Philippines. Shot from the outside is no good. In the moment, the Philippines are quite happily accepting these perimeter shots, and they're not going in. Their shooting percentage is pretty low, and the game is tied at 11 apiece. What a wonderful first 7 minutes of the game India have had. Singh now wants to hand it off, certainly doesn't want to be forced into the dribble on the perimeter. Muthu Krishnan pulls up for the 3 as the shot clock was expiring, doesn't get it to go. Philippines will come back the other way. All is moved out. Montalvo, at last they break the seal. And they get the 3 from Montalvo. And now the pressure comes from the Philippines, and they steal it away. Great pressure, and they don't get the score. As Porgoy almost goes over the ad boards, keeps himself in play though, draws the foul. Here's the triple from Montalvo on the wing. His first score of the game gives Philippines back out to a 3-point lead. A little over 2 minutes left in this first quarter. Certainly been a brisk first quarter. Pace of the game is nice and high. Porgoy at the line for his 2 shots. It wasn't an and one. Didn't score the bucket. I think both teams thought he did. Connects with both his free throws. Philippines lead out to a bit more of a healthy 5 points for them. Almost thrown away by India. Strong move to the basket. Gets the roll. Moenbek Hafiz gets the score. He only scored 2 in yesterday's game. One of the more experienced players on the team, though, 25 years old, played in the 2017 Asia Cup for India. Porgoy, no good, but the foul's going to be called. That one on Pranav Prince. Just pushing down in the low post rather than boxing out. Here's the play from before by Hafiz. Gets the roll and the score. Kelly Williams into the game. His first trip to the free throw line. 40 years of age, Kelly Williams. Plays for Tropang in the Philippines League, in the PBA. Misses both his free throws. Not a great introduction to the game for him. Prince now looking for options in front of him, trying to find a post up for Singh, but Singh's really not locating himself correctly. Way too high posting up where he is. Comes away with the handle though, Principal Singh. Shot goes up, no good. Williams with the rebound. Oh, what good transition. Oh, but the pass is just behind Rosario. Smile on his face. Would have been a phenomenal transition. Almost, I'd say, about a second from one bucket to the other. 1 minute and 2 seconds left in the first quarter. Philippines lead by 3. Another steal. Poor passing from India and an easy score for the Philippines. This time it's Porgoy who exploits the poor offense from India. A miss from Planav Prince. Sparks another transitions. No good with the 3 this time for Porgoy. And the game's a little bit frenetic at the moment. Both teams not really running much structure to their offense, is leading us into a bit of a run and gun game. Principal Singh almost spilling the ball again. Prince now does lose control but regains it. Shot clock down to 1. Is he going to get it away? He's not. And that's just some inexperience from Planav Prince. Not having your eye on the shot clock, and you can see the rage from Matic. I think he accepts mistakes from a skills perspective because he knows a lot of his players are young and they're still in their developmental stage. But I don't think he accepts just not really having a bigger eye on the game, such as shot clock and opportunities to move the ball. 3 seconds left in the first quarter. Into the corner, wide open, Montalvo, no good. And that will be the end of the first quarter here in Manila. And a real high-paced first quarter of action. 10 minutes down, India 13, the Philippines 18. Here are shooting stats from the first quarter, and as you can see, neither team shooting well from the outside, and that was part of the problems the Philippines had. Really looked to rely on the outside, and they only hit 1 from 8 in the first 10 minutes. Here are some of the best plays from that first quarter of action. As we would expect, Philippines in the lead at the moment, but India certainly here to put up a fight. They're not going to roll over and give in on this one too easily. They're going to make sure that they chase it all the way through to the end, but the Philippines have been impressive. It's only their perimeter shooting that's truly let them down. They've forced India into 5 turnovers already. Sorry, 10 turnovers already. Leading scorer for the Philippines is Dwight Ramos. He has 7 points alongside a rebound and 2 assists. Leading the scoring for India is Prashant Singh Rawat. He has 5 points and unbelievably already 7 rebounds to his name. And he's come with the hustle and the heart, but this is the problem that India are having in the first quarter. They are not taking care of possession at all. And that is gifting the Philippines some easy scores. QR code on your screen will take you through to the stats and more, so make sure you scan that one. Just moments away from the start of the second quarter. We're just waiting for that quarter clock to time out before we can get going. Second quarter underway here in Manila. And wow, what a start to the second quarter. As we see Hafiz just blast his way down the lane. The Filipino defense just completely asleep on that one. At the end of the first quarter, the Philippines led by 3. Sorry, led by 5. They now lead by 3. Step back, Ravina rains down the 3. And that is what 30 Ravina can do. and you can see how much the crowd love him. He really is an icon here in Philippines basketball. Briguvanci now hands it off to Secon. Secon, little fadeaway jumper from the mid-range, no good. Rebound fight, knocked out of bounds by Rosario. So it'll be an Indian ball. Beautiful little step back as well. Knew where he was on the floor, knew exactly how far the step back needed to be to create the space. Drops the three, much to the appreciation of the players and support staff on the bench. Montalvo now brings it up over the half for the Philippines. Ravina, little shake towards the screen, but kicks it out to Montalvo. Good ball movement by the Philippines, but the Indian defense is holding true right now. Off the glass. For the two. Extends Philippines' lead out to 8. And with his first score of the game. Briguvanci gets himself a wedgie. It's the first one I've seen in this qualification window. In case anyone's keeping count of those wedgies. Here's the spin move. Beautiful move by Aram in the end. Had his defender on skates, really. Foul's going to be called. I think that one is going to be blown on Rawat. Montalvo running the point guard position at the moment for the Philippines. Ravina now. Shot clock down to 10. Another step back three and the same result. Another triple for 30 Ravina. He's up to 8 points now. Briguvanci being harassed by Navarro. Comes back to Hafiz. They're going to drop it into Flintapal Singh. He's going to drive the baseline. That's a strong move by the young man. Got that first step. It really was just the pivot to get that left foot on the baseline. Ravina, another three. No good this time. Puts up the air ball. Maybe a little bit overconfident. Briguvanci slows it down for India. They trail by 9. Drive inside, off the glass, gets the score. Briguvanci showing there that you don't have to play basketball at 1,000,000 miles an hour for 40 minutes. It's about control and timing to create the space. 3 minutes gone here in the second quarter. Foul's going to be called as Rawat intercepts the ball and Aram just barrels him to the floor. Here's the play from Briguvanci, and it's just that hesitation that creates the separation he needs to get to the bucket. Hafiz hands it off to Rawat. Singh sets the screen for Briguvanci on the roll, but the good defense there from Navarro. Rebounding battle turns into a melee. Principal Singh, can he hold on to it? No, he can't, can only throw it away. Navarro out at the races. That's going to be a double dribble. And you could almost see in his mind he didn't decide what to do. Was he going to kick it to the wing or was he going to take it himself? And often in that case, you do end up turning the ball over, this time with a double dribble. Muthu Krishnan will come back into the game for India. Out goes Sahaj Sekon. Hafiz goes to the low post and Singh holds on to that well. It wasn't easy. Hafiz, no good. Rebound pulled down by Gomez Diliano. Ravina for three, and another three. That's his third of the night. He is putting on a show for the fans here in the arena. 11 points now for 30 Ravina, first player to double digits. Rawat, strong drive. Oh, blocked, but the foul is called. You have to say that JP Eram was just maybe half a step too far behind, and that caused him to create the contact. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's on the head. His arms caught the side of Prashant Singh Rawat's head. Eram will head to the bench on the back of that foul. Coach Reyes looking on, and unlike all the other coaches that he'll face, this is the long game for him. This really is about him building over the next 18 months, finding out what players work, what rotations look strong, how his offense should be structured, what type of defense is he going to play. As Rawat misses his second, almost grabs his own rebound though, as the Filipino defense falls apart a little bit on that. Nice move on the baseline. Oh, what an authoritative throwdown. Kwame on the follow. Beautiful timing and a wonderful finish. Briguvanchi, and that dunk has ignited the crowd. Hafiz looking to step inside, kicks it to the corner. India continue to keep their composure, but again, almost a shot clock violation. Briguvanchi got it away in time. Rebound is eventually pulled down by Troy Rosario. Gomez Diliano has it stolen away. Briguvanchi picks it up. 3-on-2 break. Strong move from India. Rawat again with the score. Takes him to 8 points alongside 8 rebounds. He's on for a double-double today. That will be a stat line for the 21-year-old. Rosario kicks it back out to Gomez Diliano. Ravina wants to try and find some space for the three, can't. Shot clock down to 4. And the pass is poor from Kwame. But that will come with time. He'll understand where Ravina wants to be. Ravina wants to be. And look at this throwdown. What timing on the jump, what athleticism, and brute force to throw that one down. And you can see Kwame enjoyed that. Foul's going to be called on Kwame as he's holding Amritpal Singh. Third team foul of the quarter for the Philippines. First on Kwame though. A little over 4 minutes to play. As we see Ramos head back into the action for the Philippines. Out comes Ravina after raining down the points from range. Briguvanchi fakes the three, drives inside. Nice pick and roll play with Singh. Singh goes to work off the glass, a little bit too shallow on the angle that he uses. So the ball springs away inside. Kwame loses the handle, but it falls back to his teammate, Navarro. Shot clock at 7. At 3. Ramos, he's fouled though. Hafiz commits the crime, and it really is a crime fouling the jump shooter like that. Yeah, catches the wrist, and Ramos will go to the line for 3 free throws. Already on 7 points. One of the Filipino players who actually plays in the Japanese B-League for Toyama Grouses. It's the second of 2. Here comes the third. Will he go perfect? Yes, he does, and takes himself to 10 points and takes the Philippines lead out to 12. Hafiz now hands it off to Briguvanci. Screen set by Singh. Briguvanci to the bucket. No good. The rebound battle's going to be won by India. And let's see what the call is. The foul's going to be called. Is it on Gomez Diliano or Kwame? Let's wait to see. As Coach Reyes looks on. That pushes the Philippines into the penalty. 3.5 minutes still to play. Prince now at the top. Hands it off to Hafiz. Picks up his dribble. Throws it back door. Nice reverse layup, but off target from Muthu Krishnan. Diliano for three. Comes up short this time. Rebound is eventually loose ball, in fact, falls to Briguvanci. And India puts some tempo behind it and get the score. And one play for Muthu Krishnan. And I'm loving this from India. They know they're the underdogs and they just want to get out and run. They're going to try and take early shots in their possession. They know the chances are higher if they get stuck in the half-court offense. It may be more difficult against the Philippines. And you're seeing Coach Matic use his team's young legs to their advantage. At the line for the bonus. Can he convert the three-point play? Yes, he can. Brings the Philippines lead down to single digits with 3 minutes to play in the first half. India 25, the Philippines 34, and that's a steal. They're going to come away with it 2-on-1. Good move to the basket. Mohamed Hafiz gets the score this time, and it's India in the ascendancy. Running a zone press defense now. Philippines break that, but it's burnt some clock off. Almost stolen away, but Navarro holds on to it. Borlik nails the three. That will settle some Philippines' nerves. As the Filipino team just looked a little bit shaky, takes their lead back up to double digits. Inside, double team comes down. And just a pure strength from Amritpal Singh. Veteran big man just beasting his way to the basket. Other end of the floor, he puts up some good defense as well, and India will come away with it. 3-on-1 break. Briguvanci round the corner. Foul's called. Robert Borlik says, I got ball. Let's have a look at the replay. Briguvanci with the fake, passes it round the corner. Did get ball, but then gets wrist as he follows through. I presume that's what the officials are calling it on. Timeout's being called. Unbelievably, the first timeout in the first half that we've had. 18 minutes of basketball without either team calling a timeout. Let's head into the huddle, listening to what the coaches have to say.
Going to the right. So when your man has the ball here, be more square. Don't give the right hand drive, okay? Now again, on the fast break, several times we tried to thread the ball here. It's not there. Huwag niyo pilitin. We're telling you already, it's not there. That skip is going to be open. That skip is going to be. So when you're driving, be ready to jump stop. Be ready to jump stop and make her kick out. That's going to be the things that are open. The drops are not going to be too open. Okay? Make sure you got it. Let's go.
Hey, make basket that's inbound and run.
Working on the finer details, Coach Reyes. His team currently have an 8-point lead, but that's not enough for him. He knows they have much more potential than that, and it's those details that will enable them to open up a far more commanding lead here in their first game. Although we call it the qualification campaign, as we see Ramos with 10 points. It's not truly a qualification campaign for the Philippines. They've already qualified as hosts of next year's World Cup. And Pranav Prince misses the first of his 2 free throws. back at the line for his second. Another one of the Indian players that's currently going through the NBA Academy in India. Unusual zone press defense from India that completely collapses. I'm not sure Coach Matic will utilize that one too many more times without a bit more work on the practice court. Raghuvanshi looks to pass it inside, but the Filipino defense just collapses, but the loose ball falls to Prince, and he gets the score into the final 90 seconds of the first half. Philippines lead is at 7, as India sit in a 2-3 zone. Not sure the Philippines are working it too well at the moment. They'll rely on the three, and that is a long, long three from Borlik. Back up to 10 points, the lead for the Philippines now. 5 from 7 from outside in this quarter. They went 1 from 8 in the first quarter, the Philippines, so it really is. Oh, and a rejection, a nasty rejection from Kwame. Oh, Borlik wanted to take the three, but the door was closed on it. Instead, he's going to draw the foul. I think it's off Muthu Krishnan. There's the three from Borlik. That's a long, long way out. And there's the rejection from Kwame. Again, perfect timing. Just slaps it high off the perspex. Timeout's going to be called once again by the Philippines. 42.3 seconds remaining. Coach Reyes using up his final timeout of the half. Let's jump into his huddle. He's decided to take it out on the floor. Let's see if our mics can get out there.
One line na kayo on the baseline na kagad. Okay. Okay, Robert at saka Dwight. Okay, start here. Just go here, Dwight. Okay, exchange. As soon as 30 gets the ball, Ann sets a screen for 30 here. For Troy. And seal. Take a look if you're free. If this isn't open, that means these guys are open. Okay? Pag walang mabigay, just get over, get open, Robert. Get open.
2 for 1 tayo.
2 for 1. That's why we took a quick, that's why we took this time out. Let's take a quick shot, play defense, and get last shot.
Just taking the timeout to draw up the final offense of the first half for the Philippines. Let's see what they want and whether his team can execute it as well as he drew it out on the coaching board. "15 seconds to play with." In fact, it won't be the last of the half, but it will be the last of, potentially the last for the Philippines, as India move to a 3-2 zone. Shot goes up, Borlik no good. Rebound pulled down by Hafiz. About a 6-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. That's a smart play by the Philippines, going 2 for 1 on that possession. Oh, easy interception for Kwame, as Singh isn't happy with his teammate for throwing a poor pass. And it was a poor pass. India back into a 3-2 zone. I'm not sure Sekon needs to come that far out, though. That's going to create too much space for them to cope with. And it's an easy score in the end for Robert Borlik. And that will be the final play of the first half here in Manila. An enjoyable first half of action as Coach Matic reads the right act to his team. But at the halfway stage here, India 32, the Philippines 44. Here are the shooting stats from the first half, and the most impressive one is that the Philippines went from 1 from 8 in the first quarter to 5 from 8 in the second quarter from range. The rest of the game's been relatively even. India taking more precious possession in the second quarter. They were turning the ball over a lot in the first quarter, only turned it over twice in the second quarter. Here are your top scorers, 3 double-digit scorers already for the Philippines. Ravina with 13, Borlik with 10, and Ramos with 10. For India, they're led by Rawat with 8. Here are some of the highlights from that first half of action here. in Manila. And it certainly was an interesting first half of action. I think many, including most of the fans in the arena, were expecting the Philippines to put on a show, to take India to school. That has certainly not been the case, as India have put in a really good shift and at times have really showed out in this first half. When they've played at pace, they've looked good. In the first quarter, they turned the ball over too many times, gave Philippines too many easy scores like that one for Ravina. And in the second quarter, India really tightened up their control of their possession, which limited the Philippines somewhat in transition baskets. The problem is the Philippines started opening up from outside, scoring shot after shot from the perimeter. And one of the main men behind that was 30, Ravina. 3 from 5 from outside, 13 points in total, alongside an assist and a steal for him. Also in double digits is Robert Borlick with 10 points, 2 rebounds. And Dwight Ramos, who also has 10 points and 3 assists. As for India, their leading scorer is Prashant Singh Rawat. He has 8 points, 8 rebounds, so on his way to a double-double. Just behind it is Arvind Kumar Muthakrishnan with 5 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists and 2 steals. India certainly look a lot better than they did yesterday against New Zealand. They're growing in stature, they're growing in confidence. These young players are really starting to come into their own in this qualification campaign. We've seen some wonderful highlight plays. There was a big one from Kwame, banging it off the glass. But still plenty of action ahead of us here in Manila. At the halfway stage, though, the Philippines hold a comfortable lead. It's India 32, the Philippines 44. Make sure you come back soon and join me for all the second half action here from Manila.
Who will you become when the moment arrives and you're carrying the expectations of an entire nation, representing your people and their dreams, the colorful faces in the streets, the screaming fans in the stands? It's time to make your move. All eyes on you, all hope, all heart. Because when you win for all.
Ball's loose, really good by Saudi Arabia, and they get the finish. Musab Al-Qadi.
Well, Freddie now will inbound the ball, backdoor finds, again a backdoor cut there from Dad Tucker.
And he's the first time he's up. Nice pass by Long to the inside. And one. 22-year-old just powered up off the pass from Low.
It's an offense not great. Zaid Abbas with the steal. Zaid Abbas now finding Freddie. Back to El Tuari. Beautiful basketball. Oh, baby, it is unselfish Jordanian Showtime basketball.
Gets the offensive rebound and kicks it out, and he gives it away. Krahita, and left-hand finish and blocked by Murthan Al-Mawani. Saudi Arabia refuse to give anything easy.
Gets it, slides to the ring. Oh, lovely little pass and the throwdown is good for Kazemi.
Well, Dot Tucker now looking to isolate. Tries to post up now. Goes all the way, gets rejected. Well, Matt Jock said, not in your house.
Tipped away by Clemens, chance to run, 2-on-1. Shamshidi, the only man back, and they go upstairs. Lovely little lob pass.
Now goes all the way. Another block shot there by Dwary. And now we got transition all the way. Throws it down. Well, Freddie Ibrahim with a bit of authority on that one.
And the pass is stolen. And all alone is Saudi Arabia. Big throwdown. Al-Baghawi, double clutch.
Welcome back to Manila for this FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023 qualifier between India and the Philippines here in Manila. At the halfway stage, the Philippines hold the lead. Much credit has to go to that man there, 30 Ravina, 13 points, 3 from 5 from outside, raining down the long bombs. And then draining some big shots, much to the pleasure of the crowd here gathered in the arena. The Philippines at time have really shown how good they can be. Their defensive pressure paid dividends in the first quarter, and then their long game took over in the second quarter. That's what's given them their 12-point lead at the halfway stage. 30 Ravina has looked exceptionally good. The 25-year-old is on form tonight and wowing the crowds. His teammates have stepped up alongside him, though. 2 other players in double digits. Robert Borlick with 10 points, 2 rebounds. And Dwight Ramos with 10 points as well. As for India, their top scorer, well, he looked like a man possessed in the first half. Prashant Singh Rawat, 8 points. Came with tons of energy, tons of hustle. Gave it absolutely everything he's got in the first half to keep his team in it and to really push them forward. And at times, India looked very, very impressive. Certainly far better than they did yesterday against New Zealand. Remember, this roster has a ton of young players in it. 7 of their 12 are 21 years of age or younger. This is a roster of the future for India. And the future is certainly looking bright with players like Prashant Singh Rawat putting in big performances alongside his 8 points. He's also grabbed 8 rebounds, including 4 offensive rebounds. Efficiency score of 13 at the half is very, very good indeed. He certainly enjoyed it, but how he'd love to push that one step further and take his team to the win here in Manila. It certainly would be a very, very shock win. But the way India have played in moments, if they can put a full 20 minutes together of that on both ends of the floor, then they do have the chance of overhauling the deficit they face at the moment and potentially taking a step closer to that beautiful trophy. What a wonderful shot that is of the trophy, reflecting the World Cup logo. And that is what the players are fighting for. Every player around the world involved in the qualifiers this weekend dreams of stepping up in 18 months' time and lifting that trophy high above their heads, celebrating a World Cup win for their team. Imagine it for the Philippines. What a reaction that would have in the 55,000 capacity arena that the final will be played in here in Manila next year. I can't imagine what the crowd would go like if the Philippines were to win the World Cup on their home soil. It would be a phenomenal achievement. It would be against the odds. But yeah, that would be a huge achievement. And that's what all these players are dreaming of right now. They want to be one of the 12 that represents their country in their home World Cup. And how they'd love to be in that final in front of 55,000 of their compatriots, trying to do something that's never been done before. But first things first, they have potentially 11 more games in front of them between them and qualification for the World Cup. And for the players themselves, the first step really, I suppose, is they want to make sure that Coach Reyes appreciates what they can do for the team. I'm sure 30 Ravina feels that not quite a lock-in for the final 12 in 18 months' time, but surely one of the favourites to be one of the first names on that roster. Certainly a superstar here in the Philippines. The crowd have really enjoyed his performance so far today. I'm sure he's got plenty more in the kit bag for the second half as well, but the rest of the players around him, I'm sure as well, want to make sure that they get their name on that final 12. It really would be a career highlight for any player to make the final Filipino roster for the World Cup. As for India on the other end of the floor, it's a different matter for them. Rawat leading them in both points and rebounds. Briguvanchi with 3 assists in that first half. But yeah, it's more about developing and growing. Yeah, they have an outside chance of qualifying for the Olympics. They've made it through to Asia Cup, which will take place in Indonesia, in Jakarta, in the summer of this year. And that's probably their first focus, is to go into the Asia Cup really and make some waves. You know, they have a chance within the Asia Cup to really establish themselves as one of the dominant forces in Asian basketball. That's their first opportunity. That's their first task in hand. And then the World Cup really would be the cherry on top of the cake if they could qualify for that. Their eyes might be set maybe 4 years down the line to 2027. When you look at some of the stars that are here, they'll be starting to enter their prime. That would be a real opportunity for them to make it to a World Cup. Maybe 2023 is a little early for this roster. Interesting to see what Coach Matic's thoughts would be on that matter. A little under 2 minutes to go until the second half starts here in Manila. Game day one really for the Philippines, as their match against Korea was forfeited yesterday. Korea unable to travel to the Philippines due to a COVID case within their camp. Therefore, they forfeited their game yesterday. I think it's to be confirmed what the rest of the games will be treated like. If it's like yesterday, then that makes it very difficult for Korea indeed. A forfeiture means not just only a 20-0 scoreline, but also means that you don't get the participation point either, which means I think almost certainly it might be impossible for them to qualify through to the second round of qualification. Still to be confirmed though. Nothing is confirmed yet. Keep your eyes on the FIBA World Cup app or on the worldcup.basketball website, and that will give you all the latest details. And I do love those shots of the World Cup. I'm not going to lie, I get a little bit distracted every time the shots of the World Cup come up. It is such a beautiful trophy that players fight so hard for across the world. Qualifiers taking place in all 4 regions for FIBA: Asia, Africa, the Americas, in Europe. Dozens of teams just dreaming of making it to the World Cup, just dreaming of getting on to the top step of the podium and lifting that wonderful trophy. But the second half action is about to get underway here in Manila, and it'll be a big effort required from India. That's not to say that they can't do it, but you have a feeling the Philippines seem relatively cool and calm at the moment, in control of the game. It's for India to really mount a charge and push for the win. Second half action underway here in Manila at the halfway stage. India 32, the Philippines 44. Philippines certainly in the driving seat, but India showing real glimmers of some superstars in the making in their young roster. Hafiz waiting for the screen to come up from Amritpal Singh. Ball goes down low. Rawat tries to pick up where he left off. Rebounding battle. That one's knocked out of bounds, I think, off the hands of Rosario, so it'll be an Indian ball on the baseline. Five-second violation. India just not running their offense quick enough. They're out of bounds baseline offense. Too slow. But that's all part of the practice. That's all part of the growing process for these young players. Borlik now brings it up over the half, being guarded slightly loosely by Hafiz. Particularly as Borlik showed his range in that first half, shooting from way downtown. Ravina. Little step back crossover, double team comes, hands it off. Foul's going to be called though. That one's on Brigu Vanshi. One of the elder statesmen of this Indian roster. In fact, only Amritpal Singh is older than him. Has a ton of experience on the international stage. Has been one of the household names for Indian basketball for many years. Thrown away, stolen by Hafiz. Out of the races with Kwame. Does very well. That is a smart play by Hafiz, using the ring to protect himself from the block from Kwame. Good rebound there by Ramos, though, for the Philippines. And I do like the pace of this game. Both teams wanting to get up and down. Kwame now looking to go to work against Singh. Uses the pivot well. Singh just swats it back into his face, though. And that's going to be a shot clock violation. Great defense there by Amritpal Singh on Kwame. Kwame receiving a little bit of his own medicine, being blocked in the paint. As Coach Reyes looks on, and I'm sure the chess-playing brain is continuing to go through it. I think we might have a blood violation or something on the floor as we see Sekon being sent to the bench. There's the rejection from Singh. And that forced a shot clock violation as Brigu Vanshi gets involved as well. Brigu Vanshi pulls up for the three. Comes up short. Rebound pulled down by Robert Borlik. Gets out at the races, hands it off. Kwame goes for the putback. Plenty of hands and trees in amongst. Singh pulls it away. Jump ball's going to be called, though. See what way the possession arrow is. I think it's in favor of the Philippines, so they'll retake possession. Shot goes up. No good. And India will come away with it. Goes long and one big play. Once again, it's Rawat giving it everything on the floor. He'll head to the free throw line. Assist by Muthu Krishnan. Rawat heading to the free throw line. Takes his personal tally up to 11 with that make, alongside 8 rebounds. You have a feeling he's going to end up with a double-double, that young man. That's a great accolade at this point of his career on this stage as well, against a team of the quality of the Philippines. Borlik kicks it out of bounds. It'll be an Indian ball, and India really starting this third quarter much better than the Philippines are. They've trimmed the Filipino lead down to just 7 points now. Coach Reyes, not as many smiles on the face as there were maybe in the first half. Muthu Krishnan brings it up over the half. Hafiz tried to feed Singh, but that's a tough pass to receive when you're a big man. Ravina with the Euro step, but the putback is good. Rosario followed that one well. Philippines lead back out to 9. Hafiz skips it to Brigu Vanshi. Brigu Vanshi's going to wait for the screen. Amritpal Singh switches it to the weak side. Hafiz with the 3, no good. Rebound falls back to Brigu Vanshi. Nice pass on the cut for Rawat, but the defense stands strong. Shot goes up, no good. Out of bounds, it will be an Indian ball. Ravina with the miss. Not sure what change they're having to make. But Sekon has come back in. Briguvanci drives the baseline, kicks it out. Into the hands of Sekon. Back to Briguvanci. Stolen away, but only as far as Rawat. Doesn't get the score this time. Briguvanci with another rebound. The veteran going to work hard and gets the score. And at the moment, the Philippines are unable to stop India getting whatever they want on the offensive end. Briguvanci now up to 6 points personal as well. Ravina, nice little fake on the pass, creates enough separation that he knows he's not going to get blocked by the Indian big. That's the score. 4 minutes gone here in the third quarter. Philippines lead at 9. Ravina now up to 15 points, leading all scorers. Hafiz drives inside. Kwame knocks that one away, grabs a rebound and draws the foul. Amritpal Singh called for the foul. Ravina, there's the little fake pass. That pushes Singh back and away to defend the bucket, creating the space he needed to put up that soft little right-hander. Singh's second foul, second team foul of the quarter as well for India. No real foul troubles as yet for either team. Montalvo brings it up over the half of the Philippines. Porgoy feeds Kwame. Kwame goes straight down the line, looks to put some thunder on it. Springs it away though. That really would have been a highlight play from Kwame if he'd finished that one. Look at that move. Trying to put Singh on a poster. Singh's defense just enough to stop that from happening. Sekon hands it off. India looking a lot more fluid in the second half offensively. They're moving the ball well. As I say that, it's stolen away. The scramble eventually falls into the hands of the Philippines. Kwame now. Smart pass outside. Strong drive. The and one play is big for Dwight Ramos. 23-year-old going to work. Gets the score, draws the foul. Heads straight to the free throw line for the bonus. It's a smart play, use of his body as well. Rather than going straight square to the basket, he's leading with the offside to draw the contact, keeping the ball away from the defense. Made sure he had the contact before he even took the shot. Ramos now at the line for the bonus. Already on 12 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Make that 13 points now for Ramos. Sekon hands it off to Muthu Krishnan. Back to Sekon for the score, and India looking good. I think they're certainly going to turn some heads through their performance in this game, and it takes real character as well to come off the back of what was a crushing defeat against the Kiwis yesterday, to come back and really put in a performance against a very, very good Filipino team, to hold their own so far for 3 quarters. That's going to be goaltend. A little bit of impatience from Principal Singh. Ball had already gone off the glass, so we can chalk another 2 points up for Ramos. Yeah, way too late to it. Singh on that one. It was going to be a 2 points whether he'd left it or not. I think it was. It might have gone off the front of the iron, actually. Foul's going to be called. This one on Montalvo. Philippines now with a joint game-high lead of 12. 41 to India, 53 to the Philippines. And this is kind of a crucial moment in this game. Can India draw them back in again, or are the Philippines able to really start banging some nails in the coffin and try and open out a big enough lead that enables them to relax in the final quarter a little bit more? Hafiz, free throw line jumper. No good. Kwame once again just drags down the rebound. That's his 6th board of the game. Ramos crossover, drives inside, off the glass, no good. Kwame knocks it back. It's a smart play as Montalvo picks up the loose ball. Out into the corner, wide open. Pourgoy no good. Montalvo gets the rebound and the 2 off the glass. 3.5 minutes to play. Philippines lead just continues to stretch and stretch. Game high 14-point lead now. India's confidence will start to dwindle if this continues without them able to score the other way. Sekon's got the mismatch he wants against Kwame. Foot speed, nice shot fake, drives inside. Wow, that's a veteran move from the 20-year-old. Patience, precision, beautiful play. Kwame now facing off against Principal Singh. Is he going to look to go one-on-one? Is he going to look to body into the basket? He's not. That one comes back out to Pourgoy. Oh, lovely little soft right-hand floater for the score. Sekon kicks it back out. That one's going to be called on a foul on Rawat as he just pushes the defense away. It's the right call. Let's have a look at the play from Sekon. There's the shot fake to get Kwame up. He knows that Kwame loves nothing more than swatting the ball away. He's a player at the other end. Pourgoy with that lovely soft right hand, not the easiest of skills floating through the lane. Montalvo now for the Philippines. Ravina waits for the Williams screen, a double screen in fact, as Montalvo comes across as well. Into the hands of Aram. He's not featured much today. Strong move by Pourgoy. Can't get the score, but does earn the trip to the free throw line. Great to see as well. You see his entire team flood over to him to help him to his feet. That shows you these are the kind of symbols you look for. Coach Reyes will be happy with that, because a big part of international play is how you get these group of individuals to gel as a team when they don't see each other that often. They don't get to play each other that often. Often they're playing against each other. So it's great to see that they are forming that team mentality early on. Both free throws are good from the free throw line for Pourgoy. Philippines lead now out to 16. Strong move to the basket, flies high, stolen back by Rawat. That's going to remain Indian ball. Rawat with the rebound. Under 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Briguvanshi to inbound it. Does so to Principal Singh. Muthu Krishnan now. For 3, that's a long way out. Put a little bit too much sauce on that one, and the iron spits it away. Williams drives to the basket, high off the glass, strong play by Kelly Williams. 40-year-old getting his points. Muthu Krishnan hands it off to Briguvanshi. Running a slightly compacted Horns offense. Rawat drives inside, uses the Euro step, gets the score once again. Prashant Singh Rawat, 13 points now, just 2 rebounds short of his double-double. Shot goes up, foul's going to be called on Principal Singh as Williams slides along the hardwood. 16-point lead for the Philippines, a little over a minute to play in the third quarter. And India are starting to look a little bit shaky as the Philippines impose themselves on the game a little bit more. There's a replay of Williams in the last play. Here's the great move by Rawat, just powering his way to the basket. Gets the score. Williams connects with the first of his 2 free throws. And the second is good to go. Philippines lead extended further now, 18 points. I don't think we're far from the point of no return for India, to be honest, but it's not necessarily about the result here for India as we enter the final minute of the third quarter. The performance is important. The experience from the players is important. Foul's going to get called on JP Aram. Fourth foul of the game for him, and we've hardly seen him today. He's really struggled with foul trouble throughout the game, and it's small ticky-tack fouls like that that have caused him issues. Philippines fall out of bounds with the ball, so it's going to be Indian possession. As Aram's gone to the bench, and seeing action for the first time is Chari Rangal. Shot no good. Rebound pulled down. Big two-hand strong rebound by Williams. Ravina, quick ball movement, slides inside and just managing to hold a little bit of air there, poor Goy. Almost waited for his opponent to start to go down before he did. And waited long enough to get the shot away. First 20-point lead of the game for the Philippines. Nice, smart, patient move by Muthu Krishnan. Final few seconds of this third quarter. Ravina trying to create some space, can't, goes way downtown. What a shot, my goodness me. We talk about logo threes. Montalvo kills the third quarter with the logo three. Ravina no space, kicks it back, and Montalvo is set, ready to go. Didn't even think about it. Up it goes, there's the fist pump. No wonder he's excited by that. That is a deep three. End of the third quarter here in Manila. It's India 47, the Philippines 68. Here are your shooting statistics. India still to hit a three-pointer, and it's going to be tough at this level of competition on the international stage to win any game where you don't hit any threes. The Philippines continuing to shoot well across the board. So here are the highlights from that third quarter of action, and the majority of them, you imagine, particularly at the latter stages, are going to come from the Philippines. They outscored India 24-15 in that quarter. At points of their quarter, though, India looked good. Briguvanshi going to work, using all his veteran experience to get the points rolling, but towards the back end of the quarter was where the Philippines started to lock down defensively and open up offensively. Plenty of big plays throughout. Really selfless basketball. This is probably the most enjoyable thing if you're a Filipino basketball fan, is that the way they're playing the game is beautiful. It really is. They're playing slick team basketball. They're not relying on individual talent to get them scores or to work the defensive hard. They're moving the ball well. They're relying on weak side rotation defensively. And this is a great sign. There should be some confidence in the Philippines about their national team and potentially what they could do. There's a replay of the three just before the end of the third quarter. My goodness me, that is some range. And just a reminder, there's your QR code if you want to download the World Cup Qualifier app. Get out your phones now, download the app, completely free, iOS and Android. Best thing to keep you up to date. Fourth quarter's underway here in Manila. Philippines lead by 21 points. A mountain for India to climb in the final quarter. Briguvanshi, three-throw line jumper, no good. Rebound pulled down. Ravina now out at the races. Doesn't get the score in transition, but Philippines grab an offensive rebound in the hands of Rangel. And they get the score to extend their lead further. Foul's going to be called. That one on Montalvo. The hero on the third court buzzer. The villain as we come back in. Briguvanchi goes down into the post to Amritpal Singh. He skips it to the weak side. Hafiz for three, no good. Rebound easily pulled down by the Philippines. Montalvo moves it back now to Porgoy, no good. Singh with his easiest rebound of the night, completely uncontested. Briguvanchi in the corner, doesn't take the three though. Waits for his big to come across. Foul's going to be called on Rangel. Amritpal Singh has been an important part of the game for India today. Played just shy of 20 minutes. 5 rebounds, 4 points to his name. It's going to be a baseline ball for India. Hafiz is going to inbound it, does so to Sekon. Almost stolen away. Sekon step back, corner two. Comes up short. Rangel, no good. Has to kick it back. Sekon intercepts out at the races. An easy two in transition. No! He fluffs his lines. What should have been an easy score for Sekon. Ends up with Ravina coming back the other way. And a soft touch from Kwame. You could feel that he wanted to throw it down. He didn't quite control it enough to do that, but he still gets the score. And India have competed for 3 quarters, but you can see the energy levels are starting to drop. Maybe a little bit of their confidence is dropping. Briguvanchi quickly counters that though, hits the 3. Takes his personal up to 9 points alongside 3 rebounds and 3 assists. Kwame, lovely post move, gets the roll. Deserved the roll, to be fair, just on the footwork alone. Seven and a half minutes on the game clock. 24 points is the lead for the Philippines. Briguvanchi hands it off to Singh. That's a nice pass and a nice finish. The veteran duo showing the young guns how it's done. Lovely bit of pick and roll action from them two. India in a 2-3 zone. Might give up a few exterior perimeter shots right now. Good ball movement by the Philippines. Rangel, no good. Long outlet pass to Sekon, but he's going to slow it down. Horn's offense, again, not really run effectively by India at all. It needs to be decided earlier what they're running. Here's a replay of Briguvanchi running the 2-man game, the big man, big and little game with his veteran compatriot, Amritpal Singh. Sekon now to inbound. Drives inside, kicks it out. Good movement. Briguvanchi for 3. No good. Nice rebound by Rawat. Flies through the paint to secure that one. Briguvanchi, little hesitation. Doesn't get the score. Rebounding battle as Rawat hits the floor is won by Gomez Diliano. Porgoy looks to find Kwame. It's knocked away by Singh, so it'll be Philippines ball on the baseline. 11 seconds left on the shot clock for them to work with. Singh's going to be called for the foul. Third personal foul. First team foul of the quarter for India, though, so nowhere near the penalty. Philippines already on 3. So they're close. Looks like we might have a dislocated finger. Oh, yeah, pointing in the wrong direction. Sorry if my commentary goes a little bit funny, but it certainly makes me wince. I know that feeling and the damaged fingers that you're left with after dislocation. I know that from personal experience, so I feel its pain. As Rosario goes to the bench for some medical attention. Unfortunately for him, the only way back in is to pop it out of joint and slide it back in the right way. India are going to make a change as we see Pranav Prince come in and Rawat head to the bench. And I think that's a smart move by Matic. Coach Matic has probably got half an eye on their game tomorrow. In fact, it's likely to be Monday because their game was scheduled to be Korea tomorrow. So India will get a rest day tomorrow and face New Zealand on Monday. As for the Philippines, they will take on New Zealand tomorrow. And that will be the last of their games because they were supposed to face Korea twice in this window. This is the first of the two. Hits the second. The Philippines lead back out to 23. Hafiz now. Oh, just loses the handle. Almost throws it away. Gets bailed out by Gomez de Liano, but the 8 seconds is surely up. As the shot clock is at 14. Coach Matic trying to claim that Gomez de Liano was in the front court, therefore the 8 seconds isn't up, but the shot clock is at 14. So it was up 2 seconds ago before Gomez de Liano touched the ball. Navarro now for the Philippines. Back to Gomez de Liano. Navarro drives inside and it opens up for him. Singh doesn't come across and provide the help that maybe he should have. Navarro gets his first score of the game. Prince to Sekon. Shot clock down to 8. For Krishnan now. Looks to create some space. Drives to the basket. It opens up, but it's stolen away. Good hands by Gomez de Liano along the baseline. Under 2 seconds for India to work with. Here's a replay of Navarro getting his near uncontested basket off the glass. Timeout's been called here in the arena. Coach Matic wanting to talk things over. His team trail by 25. Let's listen to what coach has to say.
Moin is here. Moin here. Principal here. That is a Prince here. And then quick looking here. That is this one, quick coming screen. This one is ready up. Don't need immediately. He's open. And then immediately third one who is here, immediately take a ball. Your third one up. One shot. I did. 1.7.
As you would expect from Coach Matic, nice and calm. Just reinforcing some of the things I'm sure he's been preaching in the build-up to this qualification window. And as I said, for India, sounds crazy, but it's not necessarily about the result. It's about building this team towards the future. Plenty of young players that still have maybe 5-6 years before they hit their prime. Nice inbound pass. What a play. Straight off the coach's board and executed to perfection by Pranav Prince. Transition now, Kwame deep in the paint, comes back, comes up short. Good defense by Plintapal Singh. Rebound pulled down by Prince. Plintapal Singh goes to the basket, ends up amongst 3 Filipino defenders. Can't get the score away. Under 5 minutes to play here in the game now. Foul's going to be called on Muthu Krishnan. Gomez de Liano heads to the line for 2 free throws. Hits the first of his 2. His first points of the game. Does have 2 rebounds and 3 assists though, as plenty of smiles on the bench from 30 Ravina. Gets both to drop. Philippines lead now at 26, 4:50 left in the game. Krishnan brings it up over the half, being guarded by Gomez Diliano. It's a poor pass, and this is one thing that India certainly need to work on, is the crispness and almost the flat trajectory of their passes. Lofting the ball in like that is tough. Principal Singh rejected from behind, but the foul's going to be called. Juan Gomez Diliano looking to get in amongst the big men with the block, but can only foul Principal Singh. Let's have a look. Yeah, just pulls on his arm. Nowhere near the ball. Just gets hold of his shooting sleeve instead. Singh at the line for 2. It's the first of his 2. Only his 3rd point of the game. Principal Singh played 13.5 minutes. 2 rebounds and an assist to his name, though. Gets the 2nd to go as well. Always important for young bigs. Make sure you're working on the free throw line, so you don't become a weakness. Ramos hands it off. Stolen away. Good quick hands by Muthukrishnan to Prince. Prince tries to find Principal Singh. That one's not going to happen, and Hafiz unable to keep it in bounds, so another turnover, and Philippines will regain possession. Williams, nice little hesitation on the pass, gets it to the corner, and the 3 is good, or the long 2 is good from Navarro. Six points in the game. Sorry, 4 points in the game for Navarro. Prince now feeds Singh in the low post. Nice spinning move, and a lot of the Indian players have that in their locker. Little back to the basket, quite fluid considering their bigs. Muthukrishnan drives inside, hands it off to Sekon. Steadies himself for the 3, drains the corner ball 3. Reduces the Philippines lead to just 22. And this really is a far superior performance than they put in yesterday. Remember, they lost by 55 to New Zealand yesterday. And you wouldn't say New Zealand are a far superior team to the Philippines. They're probably be one of the closest games in this qualification window will be between the Philippines and New Zealand. And even would have been before Korea's removal. Sekon gets the score. Back-to-back buckets for him. He's now up to 11 points. As India continue to rely on their zone defense. Principal Singh pulls down the rebound, and the zone defense is paying dividends. The closing phases here for India. Hafiz inside to Singh. Guarded by Williams. He goes to work, goes to the right hand. Not soft enough. Prince comes in to knock it back, but he's off target. Gomez Diliano hands it off. Navarro is fouled by Sekon. Only the 3rd team foul of the quarter for India, though, so no trip to the free throw line for Navarro. Williams heads to the bench for the Philippines, as does Ramos. Borlik and Rangel come in. Borlik now drives inside. Has to kick it back out, though, to Gomez Diliano. He goes along the baseline. Nice little pass, good vision. Stolen away by India. They'll get out in transition. Let's have a look what the call is. Foul's going to be called. I think it's on Rangel. Philippines are in the penalty, so that will send India to the free throw line. 2nd foul on Rangel. And we're seeing Muthukrishnan head to the free throw line. One of the players that's really stood out is Muthukrishnan. 7 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. Bothering the statisticians across the board as Hafiz makes his way to the bench. In comes Rajiv Kumar. His first taste of the action here today. Another one of the young guns for India, just 20 years of age, Rajiv Kumar. SSCB is his team back in the Indian League. Doesn't get the second. Rebound pulled down by Principal Singh. Under 2 minutes to play now. Game in cruise control, but still plenty to play for both these teams. Philippines building towards their home World Cup. Want to find momentum. Players want to stake a claim at a final 12 spot on the roster. Whereas for India, it's about growing to the future. Points difference will be in their minds as well. That could play a part in World Cup qualification, but it's more about building a roster that can be competitive in maybe 4 or 5 years' time. Over 7 of their players are 21 years old or younger. As the Philippines get another score and extend their lead back out to 24. Not a wise shot selection by Singh, not really in his game, that longer range. Stolen away though, Muthu Krishnan, his 4th steal of the game. No joy, as it was a 3-on-1 break. India really do need to capitalize on that situation. Went for the dunk. Principal Singh wasn't having that on his shift. Navarro looking to create some highlights. Instead, he'll have to go to the free throw line and earn his points the hard way. Yeah, just lost the handle as Principal Singh came across and created body contact. Navarro at the line for free throws instead. Muthu Krishnan has headed to the bench as we see Manjunath come in for the first time as well. Just 18 years of age, Manoj Manjunath. It's both his free throws. Extends Philippines' lead out to 26 points, which is a game high. That is their biggest lead of the game. Sekon draws the foul. That will send him to the line. Gomez Diliano called for the foul. It's the first of his 2, and Sekon again, one of the players that stood up, that's for sure. 12 points for him in the game. Has played 32 minutes though. Looks like Matic might be considering him as the starting point guard. One concern would be that he currently doesn't have any assists to his name. Needs to distribute the ball a little bit more maybe. Gomez Diliano goes inside, looks for the reverse layup, instead draws the foul again from Principal Singh. At the moment, Singh's just struggling to get his footwork right. He's just a little bit late on his positioning, and that's why he's getting the fouls called against him. And Diliano gets the first to go. 4th point of the game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Comes off the bench. He's only played a little under 11 minutes of the game, so he certainly contributed considerably in that time. This is the second. Rebound falls into the hands of India. Sekon now runs out to the races, gets the layup. You could see Aram was a little bit concerned. He's on 4 fouls, doesn't really want to pick up his 5th foul, wants to at least see the game out as we enter the final few seconds of the game. And an impressive performance once again by the Philippines, but India won't be downhearted by their performance. They put in a good shift here in Manila and a big improvement on their performance yesterday against India. So they'll be relatively happy with the way things have gone. Final score here is India 64, Philippines 88. As I say, the Philippines will be happy. They've put on a show for their fans. Limited numbers still here in the arena. You can see safety protocols in full force, but a great team performance. Plenty of big numbers across the Philippines roster. Ramos leading the way with 17 points. 3 other players in double digits, though. Ramos there also had 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Efficiency score of 22. He'll be happy with his personal performance. Came in and did a job. Only played 22 minutes, but certainly contributed some big numbers. Job done for the Philippines. Remember, they don't have to worry about qualification. They're the host team, so they automatically are qualified for the World Cup next year. They potentially will be back in this arena in the World Cup next year. But it's a good first step in their preparations as they build over the next 18 months to what they hope is a very successful tournament on their home soil. Some great performances. The players show the appreciation to the crowd. The crowd return the favor. Here's your shooting statistics from the game. Philippines, slow start from outside, but picked it up throughout the game. Good stats throughout. India, definitely going to have to work on their range. Shooting a low percentage will not get you wins on the international stage. They did tidy up the game, though. They had 10 turnovers in the first quarter, ended up with only 18 for the game, so that will be a positive that Coach Matic and his team can take from this game. Here are your top scorers. Ramos leading the way with 17, Ravina 15, Porgoy with 12 for the Philippines, Sekon 14, Rawat 13, and Briguvanchi with 9 for India. Here are some of the highlights from all of the action that we've had here in the arena, and it has been an enjoyable game. We've ended up with a 24-point win for the Philippines, and often when you see such a big winning margin, you do wonder if the game was competitive, but it really was. India were in the game for all 3 first quarters. It was really not to the 4th quarter where the Philippines completely wrestled control of the game away from India. I don't know if there was a fatigue element for India having played yesterday, whereas the Philippines didn't play yesterday. That might have played a part in why the 4th quarter opened up so much for the advantage of the Philippines. But it was a competitive game. The Philippines will be happy. The teamwork worked well together. Players had some big performances. Plenty of players got some minutes on the floor. So it's a real positive for the Philippines. As for India, they will take some positives. They got beaten by 55 yesterday by New Zealand, and Philippines are a team equivalent in the quality of New Zealand, and they only lost by 24 today. It's a young roster for India, building towards a future, and to be honest, I think it's looking bright. We could have one of the best Indian teams to play the game in their basketball history in 3 to 4 years' time when these players start to mature a little. So a bright future ahead for India. For the Philippines, more immediate matters at hand, and Dwight Ramos led the way. 17 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. 30 Ravina also had a good game, 15 points. He was 3 from 6 from range. Behind him, also in double digits, Roger Porgoy, 12 points, 4 rebounds, and Robert Borlik, 10 points and 4 rebounds for him. As for India, 2 players in double digits. Sahaj Sekon had 14 points, running the point guard position, played almost 33 minutes again today. And Prashant Rawat had a strong first half, tailed off a little in the second, but came away with his double-double. 13 points, 10 rebounds, and of that 10 rebounds, 5 of them were off the offensive glass. So plenty of positives to take away from the Indian performance. But again, all eyes will now move forward to tomorrow. For India, it's a rest day before they take on New Zealand on Monday. For the Philippines, they will take on New Zealand tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me here in Manila. It's India 64, the Philippines 88. That's the end of this World Cup qualifier.